Hello and welcome to Bottoms Down, Chair Yoga for Everyone. I'm Carol. I'm so glad you joined us today. Check out the sections on the Bottoms Down YouTube channel homepage, which make it easier to find classes by length or by purpose or by body area. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. Don't forget it's free. We'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment. In today's practice, we'll explore poses to reset for the new year. It's a great time to reset our mind and body, breathe into the new year, and get ready for all of its possibilities. You'll only need a chair for today's class. And let's get started. We're going to take just a moment to ground our feet to the earth. Remember, we've got those 4 pressure points, so make sure they're equally weighted on the floor and that both feet are equally weighted. Same thing with your sits bones. So we want to be sitting up nice and tall on those sits bones and have them equally weighted on the chair. All right, let's go ahead and flip our palms up towards the ceiling. Bring those shoulders down out of the ears. Close your eyes and just begin to breathe. Noticing the breath, noticing that natural inhalation and exhalation. Let's deepen that breath, inhaling a little more deeply and exhaling a little more completely. Do that a few more times. And breathe normally. Bring your hands to your heart and set your intentions for today's practice. One more breath here. Bring your hands back down to your thighs and open your eyes. Let's roll those shoulders up, back, and down. So it's very exaggerated. Forward, up, back, and down. And then let's reverse it. So we'll go back, and then up, and then forward, and down again. Do it again. Feels so good. All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's go ahead now and drop our right ear to our right shoulder. So simply clasp your hands behind your back, and if that doesn't feel good, just grab a hold to the back of your chair, right? Either is fine, doesn't matter. But I want you to lift up through the heart, so up through the sternum, squeeze your shoulder blades behind your back, and feel that neck stretch. Feels so good to me. All right, are we ready? We're going to now just drop your chin towards your chest. Don't lose that squeeze behind you. Just changes the stretch a little bit. All right, now let's take that left ear to the left shoulder. We have one more here. Let's go ahead and drop that chin towards the chest one final time. All right, go ahead and look up and release those hands. And let's do another shoulder roll. And release. Okay. So we're going to move into a cat and a cow. So as we begin our series, let's lift up. So kind of lift up through the spine, open up through the throat. Crown of the head is to the ceiling. So there's our starting position. Now we're going to come back, grab the back of that chair, squeeze your shoulder blades together into that cow pose. So I'm looking up slightly. Now pull the belly button in, round your shoulders, tuck your chin. Place your hands on the thighs and just tuck your chin, looking at the lap, really round the shoulders, okay? So don't hold the head up, let the head fall. Let's do that again. Up we go, lift up through the throat, opening up, feel that stretch, squeezing the shoulder blades behind you. Let's inhale here, exhale, round down into cat. Let's open up and inhale into cow. And let's round down into cat. Let's do that one final time. Open up into cow. And round down into cat. And release. How does that feel? Should feel pretty good. Okay, we're going to move into an extended mountain series. So we're going to take our hands all the way to the ceiling. So shoulders stay down, belly is tight, fingertips to the ceiling. Palms are together. Interlace the fingers, and the pointer finger is up towards the ceiling. So you see what I'm doing there? Interlacing the fingers, pointer finger to the ceiling. Okay, are we ready? We're going to lean to the right. So as I lean, I want this side to stay down, all right? So keep this hip down on the chair, and then up we go, and then we're going to lean the other way. And then up we go, and let's just bring our hands down and take just a little break. We're going to add one more thing on to that series, okay? Here we go. Hands to the ceiling, palms together, pointer fingers up to the ceiling. We're going to lean. And then we're going to add a little twist. So I'm looking up at the ceiling. You feel that? So you should be feeling those side waist muscles engaging and stretching. Take the twist out all the way to the ceiling. We're going to lean the other way, and then we're going to add that little twist. One more breath here. Take the twist out all the way up to the ceiling and release. Very good. Okay. We're going to move into a crescent lunge. So I'm going to take my right knee and I'm going to open it nice and wide. And then I'm going to let my other knee fall down towards the floor. So this could be right where you want to stay, and you should be feeling a nice stretch here in the front side of this leg. If you want a little bit more, just push this foot back behind you a little bit, okay? So be gentle. You know, there's just you don't need to like really crank on it, but just be super gentle here. But that might give you a little more stretch here in the front side of that back leg. Just one more breath. Let's release it, and let's do that one more time. Ready? Here we go. Push it back. Lifting that heart. So I'm not leaning forward, okay? So lift your heart up. There you go. One more breath here, and let's face forward. We're going to move into a pyramid pose on this side, and then we'll do the other side, both poses. So we're going to extend nice and long and let our heart fall forward. So keep the back flat. This front side of this, the back side of the front leg is what we're stretching. You feeling that? Ooh, and let's go ahead and come up, and we're going to do that one more time. So lengthen nice and long through the spine. Keep the back flat as you let your heart fall forward. There is that hamstring stretch. Pyramid pose. One more breath here. All right, let's come up, and we're going to go to the other side now. So we're going to open this knee nice and wide, and then we're going to take the opposite knee down towards the floor. Okay, so remember, same thing as like on the other side. If you want to just keep that knee straight down to the floor, that's fine. But if you want a little bit more, you're going to push your foot back just a smidge. You're going to lift your heart, feeling the front side of this leg, right? You feel that? I do. All right, let's release it, and let's do that one more time. Heart is lifted, crown of the head to the ceiling, abdominals are nice and tight. One more breath, release that, and let's face forward, and we'll move into pyramid pose. Extend that leg out in front of you, toes to the ceiling, lengthen through the spine, let that heart fall forward. So I will tell you, I do keep my hands on my thighs for a little support here. It's fine. Keeping the back flat is the key. That's where you're going to maximize the stretch. All right, let's go ahead and roll up and do it one more time. Lengthen first, hinge forward, and let that heart fall towards your thigh. One more breath, and up we go. All right, let's grab a sip of water. So we're going to move into a wrist series. So we're going to take our hands and just interlace your fingers, okay? Now, you're going to take your palms and you're going to press them out. So a little stretch here for the upper. You should be feeling this through the upper arms, upper back a little bit. Okay, now we're going to take our palms up to the ceiling and let's lean to the right. We're going to take our hands back up to the ceiling and we're going to lean to the left. We're going to come back up to the ceiling, bring those palms back out in front of you. Now, I want you to notice which pinky finger is on top, okay? Go ahead and bring those palms in towards you. So for me, see which pinky finger's on bottom now, I guess I should say it's on bottom. So we're going to re-interlace our fingers with the other finger on bottom. It feels weird. I know it does. Okay, are we ready? Press those palms away from you. Up to the ceiling. We're going to lean to the left. We're going to come up. We're going to lean to the right. And we're going to come up. We're going to bring those hands back down. Okay, really, really good. Now, go back to how you like to interlace your fingers, not that funny way. And we're just going to kind of ride the wave, I call it. So you're just going to bend one wrist and you're going to come up and just kind of roll those wrists a little bit. Does that make sense? It doesn't really matter. There's no technical way to do this. I just want you to feel a little movement in those wrists. And your fingers, actually, for that matter. Really good. Okay, last one. And release that. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to bring my arms by my side and just feel the weight of the arms kind of pulling those shoulders down. All right? Do you feel that? Now go ahead and make a little fist. And what I want you to do is bring those fists in towards your body. Does that make sense? So you should feel a pretty good stretch along the top side of the arm. Then bring the wrist down towards the floor, and then we're going to rotate them out, away from the body. And now you may feel more of a stretch here. Let's do that again. Bring it in, down, and up. One more time. You got it. And release. Okay, excellent. Now our arms are going to come out in front. Again, make those little fists here. And then we're going to rotate to the left and then to the right. It's kind of hard to do the same direction. So you see what we're trying to do, right? Doesn't matter. Maybe you do one direction and one the other. It's just some rotations here for the wrists, and then we want to reverse it. So you're just doing it one way and then the other. Okay? Really, really good. Okay, let's go ahead and release that. Now, we're going to put our palms together, and I call this opening the book. So you'll see that my pinkies stay together, and I'm just opening the book. Does that make sense? Now, you're going to keep going so that the backs of the hands are together. And then you're going to bring your fingertips kind of in towards you. And then you're going to rotate out. Okay, and then we're going to reverse that. So you're going to kind of rotate back in. So now the backs of the hands are together. And then we're going to come back and put the palms together. Let's try that again. I know it's a little funky. So here we go. We're going to open the book. The pinkies are together. Now the backs of the hands are together. Bring your fingertips towards your body. Let them rotate down towards the floor. And then they're going to rotate. Fingertips are rotating out. And then you're going to come back down. Fingertips to the floor. Fingertips to you. Pinky fingers are together. Come back around and release. So just a little different way to rotate those wrists. All right? Very good. So the last thing we're going to do is just a little bit of a stretch. Now, so what I'm doing is I'm placing my right hand out, and with my left hand, I'm just going to gently pull on that palm. I should have said the last thing for the wrists. We're all going to move on from that, but the last thing for the wrist. Just a little stretch here. Let's go ahead and release that, and we're going to do that one more time. Okay, very good. And then we're going to do the other side. Okay, so extend out. Now, if it doesn't feel good to pull on that hand, then you're just going to be right here, and that's fine. But if it feels okay, then you're going to give it a little bit of a tug, just a little. It's not much, but you might feel a little more stretch that way. Let's release it and do it one more time. It's also not encouraged if you have arthritis in those wrists. It's probably not a good thing to pull on it. All right, and let's release. So the next thing we're going to do is eagle arms. So we're going to kind of give those wrists a little bit of a break. So we're going to take that right arm out. Your palm is facing out, if that makes sense, okay? All right, so now I'm going to take this hand, I'm going to bring it all the way across my body. My other arm, I'm just going to bend it. So now I'm bending at that elbow, so I'm bringing that arm across. Does that make sense? This shoulder is staying down. Now, as I bring my hands together, I'm going to put the backs of my hands together or the fronts of my hands together. So now I'm in eagle arms. Can you see that? If you want backs of hands together, that's fine. If it feels okay for the fronts together, that's good. Now, everybody bring your arms up and your forearms away from your face. I'm turned a little bit so I'm not talking right into my hands. So I'm just kind of leaning around my arms. Okay, so everybody ready? Here we go. We're going to twist to the right. Keep your feet and your knees forward. Do you feel that stretch in the upper back? I do. Let's come center, and then we're going to do it the other way. Man, I feel that. Let's come center and release that and roll those arms. Woo. Okay, we're going to do it on the other side now. So left arm is extended out, my palm is facing out, okay? I'm going to bring that arm all the way across my body. Make sure that shoulder stays down. Now with this other hand, palm is going to face up. I'm going to bend at the elbow, right? So kind of my elbows are one stacked on top of the other, and I'm bringing this hand forward to give a little bit of a stretch here. Now I'm going to bring my hands together, either backs of the hands are together or the fronts, lift up and away from my face, okay? Feel that stretch first. It's a pretty significant stretch. Now, we're going to turn to the left. Again, your feet and your hips stay forward. This action is happening right at the ribs and the shoulders. So we're going to come center, and then we're going to go the other way. And we're going to come center and release. How did that feel? I know, right? Pretty good stretch. So the last thing we're going to do is called Namaste hands behind the back. So Namaste hands are this, right? But we're going to be doing them behind our back. And I'm probably going to have to turn around here at one point so you kind of see what I'm doing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to extend our right arm out. But this time, instead of our palm facing out, our palm is going to face back. Simply bend at the elbow and place your hand behind your back. You see that? It's just kind of out there in the small of the back. Okay? Now, we're going to do the same thing on with the other hand. So again, my palm faces back, bend the elbow, and place that hand behind the back. Okay? Lifting up nice and tall through the chest. One more breath, and then let's release that, okay? All right, so that is a great version, and you don't have to add on if you don't want to add on. But if you want to do a little bit more and just see how it feels, we're going to continue with that same position. Just peek at me real quick, right? So we'll be here just like we were, but then we're going to begin to bring our palms together. You see how my fingertips are coming up and my palms are coming together? So that is Namaste, hands behind the back. All right, let's do it. Right hand out, palm faces back. Bend that elbow and put that palm facing out behind your back. Let's do the other side. Bring it in. Okay, now my fingertips are touching, right? So if you want, all you're going to do is you're going to begin to bring those fingertips up your back. And as you do that, your palms come together. And here I am in Namaste, arms behind the back. So the key to this one, though, is you can't let your heart sink. You want that heart lifted, right? It's a pretty good stretch through those shoulders. One more breath. Now we're going to release that. Oh, let's roll those shoulders just a little bit. Kind of get that released. And grab a sip of water. We're going to move into a series called Windmill Arms. So we will take our right knee and we're going to open it nice and wide. Then that left knee is going to join it. So we're facing the other direction, okay? Take your arms up to the ceiling. Shoulders are down out of the ears, okay? So super important that we keep those shoulders down. Our abdominals are super engaged, belly tight. All right, now we're going to start with this outside arm and we're going to windmill to where we're looking over the back of our chair. My knees are staying forward. My hips are forward. The action is happening right at the rib cage. Bring those hands back up to the ceiling, and then we're going to windmill the other way. Now you're looking out towards me, okay? Does that make sense? All right. Now, come back up, hands to the ceiling, goalpost arms, squeeze your shoulder blades behind your back, look up slightly. Just a tiny back bend here, belly stays tight, squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Hands back up to the ceiling. We're going to rotate one more time. Here we go. Rotate, look over the back of your chair. Up we go. Rotate the other way. Up we go. Bend those elbows, goalpost arms, squeeze, look up slightly. One more breath and release. Good job. Let's face forward. Okay. We're going to do that on the other side now. So we're going to open up wide, bring this other knee forward. Now we're facing the other direction. Okay, hands to the ceiling, shoulders are down out of the ears. Initiate the movement with the outside arm. Here we go. Rotate around, windmill. You're looking over the back of your chair. Shoulders stay down, hips stay forward, knees are forward. All right, bring those hands back up and keep on going. We're going to windmill the other way. Action is happening right at the rib cage. You got it. Here we go. Back up to the ceiling. Bend those elbows. Looking up slightly. One more breath. Hands to the ceiling. Let's do it again. Here we go. Windmill. You're looking over the back of your chair. Hands back up to the ceiling. Windmill the other way. Hands back up to the ceiling, bend those elbows, goalpost arms, squeeze the shoulder blades behind you, look up slightly. Bring those hands back to the ceiling, bring them down, and face forward. How did that feel? Did you feel a good movement right in the ribs, right? That's where the action was happening, right there at that rib cage. Good for those oblique muscles. Okay, so what we're going to do next is called horse pose. So we're going to heel, toe, our feet out nice and wide, okay? And I do want the toes to be out at a diagonal. So your knees are in alignment with those toes. A pretty good stretch happening right here in the inner thighs. Do you feel that? All right, very good. So the first thing we're going to do is bring our hands to heart, and then we're going to lift that left heel off the floor. All right, we're going to put it down. We're going to lift the other heel off the floor and put it down and lift and down and lift and down. Lift and down, lift and down. One more. Lift and down, lift and down. Just place your hands here and heel toe those feet. Well, I guess it's not going to work putting your hands there, is it? Because your legs are going to come in. I just want you to give those legs a little break. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we're going to do that same thing again, but this time we're going to be lifting both heels at the same time. So this is really good for your feet. It's a good stretch for your feet. We want to keep our feet mobile, right? So we want them to be able to move through that natural motion and not just shuffle. We want to move. So that's one of the things that this particular pose helps us do. So let's go again. Heel, toe, heel, toe. So we've got that nice wide stance. Our knees are in alignment with those toes. Bring your hands to your heart. Belly stays tight. Are we ready? Let's start with the right heel this time. Lift and lower. Other side. Lift and lower. And switch. Lift and lower. And switch. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. One more. Each side. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Okay, are we ready? Now we're going to lift both at the same time and hold. Belly stays tight. Lower and lower. Now start with the other side. Lift and lift, hold. And lower. Okay, ready? Lift and lift, hold. Lower and lower. Again, lift and lift, hold and breathe. One more breath. Lower it and lower it. Now, put your hands on your thighs, and we're going to heel toe in just 2 times, all right? 1, 2. Now, I have to come a little bit further in my chair. We're going to let our knees fall in. So a little internal hip rotation, okay? So kind of whatever feels good for you. So if you're like, if you're here and you're feeling like, I don't know that there's that much to this, maybe you heel toe your feet a little bit wider. And then see, because I do want you to feel it here. I want you to feel the stretch happening as we internally rotate. So if you need to take your feet a little bit wider for that, go for it. One more breath. Okay, let's release it. And then we're going to do it one more time. So little internal hip rotation. We do a lot of external hip rotation, but we don't often do this. And it's good. All right, one more breath. Here we go. Now, you're going to heel toe your feet in just a little bit. You do want to have space between your legs, but I want you to feel like you're solidly on the chair, all right? So whatever that means for you, go ahead and take that moment. So the first thing we're going to do is child's pose. Then we're going to move into a forward fold, and then we're going to add a rag doll. So as always in my class, you don't ever have to add on. So these are building poses, one building on top of the other. If you want to stick with one or the first version or the second version, stick with it. If you don't want to continue on, it's all good. So the first thing we're going to do is child's pose. So we're keeping the back flat. We're going to let our heart fall forward. Now, my arms are resting on my thighs, but my palms are facing down between my legs, okay? Begin to let your heart fall a little bit further. Just whatever feels good for you. We're hanging out here. We'll want one more breath, and then we're going to roll it up nice and slow. And we're going to take a little break. So as you come up, you may feel that low back. That's what's working, right? So make sure you pull those abdominals in. We want to protect that low back, but you're still getting some work. Okay, so the next thing, the add-on here, and we're going to go through this whole series twice, so maybe you play around with which one feels better for you. So the next version is forward fold. So there's 2 ways you can do forward fold. One is you're going to let your heart fall forward, and you're going to grab maybe your shins, okay, or maybe your ankles, or maybe your feet come to the floor. Try to let your head fall, right? So we want to try to let that head hang out. So this is an inversion. We're going to hang out here for 2 more breaths. We have 1 more breath. Now pull your abdominals in super tight, belly button to spine, and roll up slowly. Really, really slowly. Because once you're in an inversion, your blood is down, and then when you lift up, I don't want you to get dizzy, right? So we want to take it slow as we come up. So how did that feel? Now the last piece we're going to add on, okay, so we're going to come down into that same forward fold, but then if it feels okay, you're going to let go and grab your elbows, and you'll hang down, and you should feel a nice stretch into the back, okay? So here we go. First of all, we're in child's pose, and maybe this is where you want to stay. It's fine. Maybe you want to go to your forward fold, holding on to your ankles. That's fine. Maybe you want to go to your forward fold with your hands on the floor. That's great. All right, are we ready? Wherever you are, if you want to, release and grab your elbows and hang out in ragdoll. So go ahead and nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Nod your head yes. Drop your hands back down to the floor or to your ankles or to your legs. Roll it up slowly. Taking a moment, making sure that you're not dizzy, and release. How did that feel? That feel okay? Excellent. All right. Okay, let's grab a sip of water. So we're going to come forward in our chair and clasp your hands behind your back. Now, if that doesn't feel good, you can just grab the back of your chair. It's fine, okay? But I want you to really feel like you're lifting up through the heart, squeezing your shoulder blades behind. Now, we're just going to take our nose and begin to make little bitty tiny circles in one direction. Doesn't matter which direction, but just pay attention because we'll switch it. Now, we're going to begin to make those circles a little bit bigger. And a little bit bigger. And pretty big. All right, let's go ahead and start tightening that coil back up. A little bit smaller circles. A little bit smaller circles. Tiny, tiny circles. And stop. Okay, let's reverse it. Little circles first. And then we're going to make a little bit bigger. Keep on making them bigger, right? Just opening up that coil. Now we've got a pretty big circle going. And let's begin to tighten that coil up a little bit. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. Until we've got that tiny, 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 tiny circle. And release. Really, really good. Okay, we're going to do a chin to chest neck stretch. So we're going to place the palms of our hands in our lap. Extend your thumbs out. And so that one palm is stacked on top of the other. We're going to bring those palms up. We're going to place them right here at the back of our head. Bring your elbows in. And then you're just going to use your thumbs to give the back of the neck a little massage. So I'm just rubbing the back of my neck a little bit with those thumbs. All right, now we're going to bring those elbows even closer and then look down at your lap. So it's just a gentle stretch here. I don't want you pulling on the neck. You're letting the weight of your elbows and gravity is what's actually giving you the stretch. Just one more breath. Go ahead and come up, bring those elbows up to the ceiling. And let's just do that one more time. Are we ready? Here we go. Last time. Just a little bit of a stretch here for the back of the neck. The elbows are to the floor. Letting gravity do the work. We're not pulling on it. One more breath. Go ahead and bring those elbows up and release. And then just kind of move around a little bit. Just a little free form. Woo! I feel that one. I don't know about you, but boy, that one gets me. It feels good. Okay, we're going to do some elbow circles. So I'm just simply going to take the palms of my hands and place them up on my shoulders. Now, bring your elbows upwards and then in together. All right? Now, we're going to take those elbows up to the ceiling. Then we're going to take them wide. Try to squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. And then down to the floor. Let's do that again. Up we go. Kiss those elbows together. Send them up to the ceiling. Bring them back behind you and down to the floor. Now just hold on right here so your elbows are kind of pulling down on the tops of those shoulders. Do a head nod yes. And then a no. And then a yes. Now we're going to reverse that circle. So we're going to go back first. Then we're going to go up to the ceiling. Then we're going to touch them together. And then down. And let's do that again. Open. Squeeze behind you. Up to the ceiling. Kiss those elbows together in front. And down we go. And do a head nod yes. And a no. A yes. And release. Good. All right. We're going to move into staff pose. So let's move back just a little bit. I don't want you leaning back, but I don't want you to be right at the edge of the chair either. Feet are nice and grounded to the mat. Sits bones are grounded to the chair. We're going to place our hands right under our arms, and I want you to lift up through the chest. So the sternum is lifted, the shoulders are down, the crown of the head is towards the ceiling. Now, as you release, you're pulling up. As you release this, you're going to put your fingertips on the chair, but I want you to maintain that lifted sternum. Does that make sense? Is your belly tight? Are you lifting up through that staff pose? One more breath here and release. Very, very good. Okay, so we're going to move into a seated twist. Your left hand is going to come on the outside of that opposite knee. Your other hand will come to the back of the chair. I want you to lift up nice and tall through the spine, and then you're going to turn, pull this shoulder back, turn and look over that shoulder. One more breath. Go ahead and face forward. Let's do the other side. So here we go. We're going to bring that hand out. Other hand back on the chair. Lengthen through the spine first. Pull that shoulder back. Turn and look. One more breath and face forward. Okay, we're going to add one more thing on. So I'm going to cross my left leg over my right. Okay, so now my right hand is going to go on the outside of that top leg. Other hand back behind. Extend, pull the shoulder back, and turn and look. So it's just a gentle twist here, but if you want a little bit more, you can press this hand against that thigh and give yourself just a little additional twist. Let's release it, and let's take that leg down and go to the other side. This hand is going to come to the outside of the thigh, opposite hand back. Extend, pull that shoulder back, turn and look. Hold and breathe. One more breath here and release. Very good. Okay, let's take that right leg and extend it out in front of us, toes to the ceiling for pyramid pose. Lengthen through the spine. Let your heart fall forward, breathing into the stretch. Let's go ahead and roll back up to a seated. Do that again. Extend and hinge. Nice. Back side of that front leg. And roll it up. Okay, let's do the other side. Extending that other leg long, toes to the ceiling, lengthen through the spine. Let that heart fall forward. I'm actually holding onto my thighs a little bit to give myself some support. Feel free to do that if you want. Roll it up. And let's do that again. Lengthen through the spine, shoulders stay down, belly stays tight. Let the heart fall forward, breathing. And roll it up. Really good. Okay, pigeon pose. So you've got options. You can cross ankle to ankle if that feels better for you, or you can go ahead and place that ankle in front of the knee. All right? So here we are in a seated pigeon, and this might feel really, really good for you. If you want a little bit more, you're going to lengthen through the spine and begin to let that heart fall forward, keeping the back flat. Should feel good. All right, let's go ahead and lift up, and we're going to do that one more time, just like that. Lengthen and hinge. If you want, you don't have to do this part, right? You can just hang out. Just Seated pigeon, you don't need to let the heart fall forward if that doesn't feel good for you. All right, are we going to do the other side? Here we go. Remember, you can be ankle to ankle if that feels better for you, or it can be ankle to knee. We're going to lengthen first and then just let that heart fall forward. Okay, go ahead and come up and do it one more time. That's your exhale as you move into that movement, and then just breathe. One more breath. Excellent work. All right, let's go ahead and sit back in our chair. Shoulders are down. You can lean back if you wish. Flip those palms up to the ceiling. Close your eyes and just breathe.
Within arm's reach. The world is not obligated to be the way you think it should be. Your responsibility is to live in the world as it is. Concern yourself with the progress you can actually make. Focus on those problems you can actually solve. Don't become so outraged or despondent about society's ills that you fail to adequately address your own shortcomings and opportunities. It is by improving yourself that you improve your world. Right now, within arm's reach, you have good and valuable work to do. Get that done before you even think about sailing off to right the wrongs on some foreign shore. Experience life's potential for goodness by personally embodying it. Always remember that the most powerful way to promote your highest ideals is by living them. You always have much good work to do within arm's reach. Operate on a human scale and enable your life to be of great benefit to all of human experience.
Let's go ahead and open our eyes. Drop that right ear to the right shoulder. Reach up with the right hand. Give the head a gentle tug as you press that left hand down towards the floor. Release it. Drop your chin towards the chest. Reach up with the hands. Give the head a gentle tug. Release it. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Reach up with your left hand. Give the head a gentle tug as you press that right hand down towards the floor. Release it. Look up just slightly. Open your mouth if you want to stretch your jaw. Bring your hands to your heart. Honoring one another, we say Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate it. Remember, click on that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.